She said she couldn't love a man who didn't even have a roof over his head. That loving me felt like carrying dead weight. I watched her pack her bags and leave, while I slept on a park bench that night. But I didn't beg. I built, too. Years later, she opened her front door and saw me standing there, with the contract in my hand, because I just bought the house. She now pays rent to live in. People don't always leave when things are over. Sometimes, they leave when you're at your lowest, because they were only there for the view, not the climb. It started simple, like all love stories. A small rented flat. One mattress on the floor, 2 cups of chai, and big, stupid dreams written on the ceiling with glow-in-the-dark stickers. We didn't have much, but we had each other, or at least, I thought we did. Her name was Ariba, and to me, she was everything. She laughed at my terrible jokes. She believed in my ideas, even when no one else did. One day, we'll have our own place, I used to tell her. White curtains, real windows, and a table that doesn't wobble. She'd smile, hold my face in her hands, and whisper, "I don't care about the house, as long as it has you in it." I believed her. That was my first mistake. The beginning of the end. I lost my job on a Tuesday. It was raining that morning. The kind of soft rain that feels like a warning. The office manager didn't even look me in the eye. Companies. Downsizing, he said. Budget cuts. You're a great guy, but we can't keep you. I nodded. Walked out. Didn't cry. Didn't break. I told myself I'd bounce back in a week, but a week turned into a month. And a month turned into silence. The fridge went empty. The lights went out. Unpaid bills. I sold my laptop, then my bike, then my wristwatch. I stopped eating 3 meals, then 2, then 1. And every night, I looked at Ariba sleeping beside me, and wondered when she would leave too. She didn't say it at first, but I could feel it in her tone, her sighs. The way she stopped laughing. Love with conditions tonight. I sat beside her, planning things. I have an idea. Maybe I can freelance online. Start a small project. Maybe even teach coding. Just need time. She didn't answer, just stared at the ceiling. What? I asked gently. She turned her head, and for the first time, she looked at me like I was a problem, not a person. Ion, I can't keep doing this. Doing what? I asked. This life. This survival mode. Every day feels like drowning. You keep talking about building something, but we don't even have running water. My throat dried. I thought we were building it together. She stood up. I need someone ready. Ion, not someone always preparing to be something. That sentence cut deeper than any insult ever could. The next day, she packed her things, her makeup, her heels, the sweater I gave her. She didn't even say goodbye, just left the keys on the table, and walked out of my life. No fight, no scream. Just silence. The kind that stays with you longer than the pain. The night I became homeless 2 weeks later, my landlord knocked. Rent's due. Beta. I can't let you stay anymore. I nodded. I had no excuses left. That night, I packed a small backpack. A few clothes, my journal, my charger. Even though I had no phone left to charge, I walked out of that apartment, closed the door behind me. And for the first time in my life, I had nowhere to go. I slept on a park bench that night. It was cold. The kind of cold that doesn't touch your skin, it hits your soul. I looked up at the stars and whispered, "If you're still listening, God, don't let this be the end of me." You won't always heal in hospitals. Sometimes, you heal in hidden places, like rooftops, warehouses, and borrowed storerooms. Day 1. Dishes and earth. Daba became my shelter. Not by design, but by necessity. During the day, I scrubbed steel plates until my hands bled. At night, I slept between stacked soda crates and flour bags. No fan, no mattress. Just hunger and noise from rats nearby. But I didn't complain, because even in that small space, I had something most people never find: fire, stolen minutes, sacred time every night after the last customer left. I borrowed the waiter's phone. He thought I was scrolling Instagram, but I was on YouTube. Typing in broken English. How to make money online from zero. What is copywriting? Best skills to learn without a laptop. I watched quietly, paused, rewound, took notes on tissue paper. I didn't have a device, but I had discipline. I didn't chase revenge. I chased routine, because habits change lives, not hope. First break, 1 rupee at a Day. A regular customer, a tired businessman, forgot his laptop bag. I ran outside and returned it to him before he drove off. You're sharper than you look, he smiled. What are you doing here? Working, learning, I said. Trying to change my life. He raised an eyebrow. Ever done typing jobs? That night, he sent me a document to retip. He paid me Rs. 500. It was the first money I made with my mind, not my hands. And just like that, the game changed. Mind over muscle. Started learning typing, then copywriting, then design. I'd use the Daba's broken desktop after hours. Internet so slow, it took 3 minutes to load Google, but I stayed. I learned how Fiverr works, Upwork, LinkedIn. I created accounts, made resumes with fake office backgrounds using MS Paint. I started getting micro jobs, writing Instagram captions, PDF formatting, CV building. Sometimes I got scammed, sometimes I wasn't paid, but I didn't quit, because the pain of working for free was still better than sleeping on a bench. I didn't pray for opportunities, I prepared for them. So, when they came, I wouldn't be empty-handed. Stacking wins quietly. 3 months later, I had saved enough to rent a tiny single room. Just a mattress, a bulb, a power strip. No table, just a wooden crate and ambition. That's where I built everything. I made 10,000 rupees, then Rs. 50,000. Started running ads for local businesses. Built Shopify stores for strangers in Canada. Edited reels for influencers. Flipped Instagram pages. Started a small blog about financial growth. No one knew. No one clapped, but my walls heard every late night whisper. Just a little more, you're getting close. First major move, property flip. A client from Karachi, impressed by my work, offered a small real estate project. You help me promote this 2-bedroom listing. I'll give you 10% of the commission if it sells. I marketed it like crazy. WhatsApp groups, Facebook pages, flyers, sold it in 9 days. He wired me Rs. 95,000. That was more than I made in 3 months. Combined, I took that money and reinvested it, not in clothes, not in phones, in skills. I bought a used MacBook, got license tools, took a Udemy course. I built my own small marketing agency. Silent, online, efficient. They thought I disappeared, but I was just building in places they'd never think to look. The glow up they never saw. We never posted on Instagram. Never made noise, but within 18 months, I had saved over Rs. 1.2 million. Not from luck, from grit. I partnered with a friend to flip property listings in Lahore and Islamabad. I ran ads. He did site visits. Within 6 months, we flipped 3 homes, my share. Almost 800,000 rupees. I started investing. Small apartments, plot shares, off-plan projects. Every time I signed a new paper, I remembered the night I slept on the bench, the rain, the silence, the heartbreak. You left me because I had no address. But now, I buy addresses. The call that changed everything. In afternoon, my real estate partner called. Bro, guess what? There's a house listing up in Gulshan. The leaseholder isn't the owner. It's up for sale by the landlord. I asked for the address. He sent the details. I froze. It was the same street, same corner, same brown gate with a broken bell. Ariba's house, the house she left me to move into. The one she said was a better future. I sat down quietly. Didn't feel angry. Didn't feel emotional. Just calm. And that's when I knew. I'm ready. I bought it in cash, no loan. No noise. Just one signature. One transfer. One moment. Where everything flipped. 2 weeks later. She opened her door and saw me standing there. Black shirt. Clean haircut. Folder in hand. Her eyes widened. I smiled. The kind of smile that doesn't need words. When you finally become what they said you'd never be. Don't raise your voice. Raise your worth. It was a Thursday, clear sky, gentle wind. I pulled up to her street in my new car, not flashy, just clean, the same street where I once stood in the rain, watching her walk away without turning back. Only this time, the road didn't feel narrow. I wasn't small anymore. I was the man who came back, not for revenge, but for closure. The gate that once shut me out. He stepped out and walked to the gate. The one she once shut behind her. Funny how a place can look exactly the same, but you feel entirely different inside it. I rang the bell. No emotion, no butterflies, just breath. She opened the door. And for a second, the world froze. Her face went pale. Eyes wide, mouth slightly open, that look people give when they see a ghost. Except I wasn't a ghost. I was the version of me she never believed would survive. I nodded slowly, held out a thin folder. I'm not here to cause problems. I just came to introduce myself. To who? She asked, half whispering. I smiled. To your new landlord. The papers that said it all. She hesitated, took the folder with shaking hands. Flipped through the pages. Her eyes scanned. The deed, owner name, Ion F. Malik property, residential, single family, East Corner. She looked up again, stunned. This is a mistake. No, I said gently. It's just the end of one story, and the beginning of another. She blinked, struggling to speak. Why? Why would you? I stopped her there. I didn't buy this house to get back at you. I bought it to let myself move forward. The conversation that never happened. She invited me in, like old times. I sat on the same sofa we once picked together on a discount sale, but everything was different now. Her walls were painted. She had expensive curtains, a glass coffee table, but I noticed something else too. The joy in her eyes was gone. I'm happy for you, she said. Really? You made it. Yeah, I replied. Eventually, she looked down. I was wrong, wasn't I? I didn't say yes. I didn't say no, because I wasn't there to reopen wounds. She finally said the words I never thought I'd hear. I'm sorry I left when I did. I was scared. I needed safety. I didn't believe you could do it. It's okay, I replied. She looked surprised. You're not angry? No, I said, because if you hadn't left, I wouldn't have learned how to build without needing someone to believe in me. Your absence became my greatest motivation. A different kind of silence. There was a long pause, not awkward, not angry. Just real. So, what happens now? She asked softly. You don't have to move, I said. You can stay. Your lease is still valid. I won't raise the rent. Why? She whispered. Because I'm not here to prove anything to you, I said. I came to prove something to myself, that I could rise. Without bitterness. She teared up, but I didn't hold her, didn't console her, because I realized something in that moment. I didn't miss her. I missed who I was. When I thought she loved me, the power of letting go. Stood up to leave. She followed me to the door. Can I ask you one thing? She said, voice trembling. Do you still think about us? I looked at her. Really looked, and smiled gently. I think about who I used to be when I was with you. But I don't think I could ever go back to him, and I don't think you could either. She nodded slowly, tears in her eyes. No words left. I walked down the steps. The same steps I once begged her not to walk away from. This time, I walked away first. Not to hurt her. Not to win, but because I had already won. You don't always need revenge. Sometimes, peace is loud enough Final shot of Act 3. I got into my car. Closed the door. Looked one last time at the house, not with pain. Not with regret, but with closure. The house hadn't changed, but the man standing outside it, he had died forever. Sometimes, you don't need to burn bridges, you just need to cross them so far that they can never reach you again. The morning after the next morning, I woke up early. Not because of an alarm, not because of worrying, but because I felt light, lighter than I had in years. I stepped out onto my balcony, the one in the apartment I bought with my own name on the deed. The sun was rising slowly, painting the sky in soft gold. Birds flew overhead. The city, for once, felt silent. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. This is peace. Reflection. From pain to poetry, thought about everything. The night she left me, the bench where I cried alone, the daba. The sleepless nights, typing in candlelight. The deals, the first payment, the first win. The call from the realtor. And finally, the look on her face, not because she regretted leaving, but because she never imagined that the man she gave up on would one day own the ground beneath her feet. But now, I didn't feel anger, not anymore, because the truth is, she didn't break me, she introduced me to myself. The real win. People think success is revenge, but it's not. Revenge is loud. Success is quiet. Success is not replying to the people who doubted you, not flaunting to the ones who left, not proving anything to anyone. It's just showing up to your own life, fully, powerfully. Finally, I didn't need her to believe in me anymore, because I finally believed in myself. Her message a week after the face-off, I got a text from her. Just one sentence. Thank you for not becoming cruel when you had every reason to. I stared at the screen and deleted the message, not out of hate, but because the chapter was closed. I didn't reply, because this wasn't her story anymore. This was mine, a new kind of loveman's past. I started mentoring young freelancers, helped 3 street kids set up their first laptops, taught a widow how to sell handmade jewelry online, hired 2 dishwashers from that same daba, because pain, when channeled right, can feed thousands. You don't have to be rich to change the world. You just have to remember how it felt to have nothing. Final message to the audience, voice over style. So to you, whoever's watching this, who's been left behind, who's sleeping in silence, who's been told, you'll never become anything, let me say this clearly. They left because they didn't see what was coming. They left because you hadn't blossomed yet. They left because your roots were still forming. But if you stay quiet, stay consistent, stay patient, then one day, you won't need to get even. You'll be too far ahead. Closing line powerful. Mic drop style asterisk asterisk. She left when I was homeless. So I bought the house she lives in. Not to lock her out, but to show myself that I could open every door without anyone's permission.